on the same map as the earlier ZVZ. Not a problem. This is going to be a platinum matchup. Spawning in the bottom right for StraTk Gaming. It's our purple Zerg player. Actually, they're the same exact colors even. It is Quakecomm. And his opponent in the top left of Daedalus point in pink for Outset. It's going to be Kale. So same exact matchup, same exact colors, same exact spawn positions for the teams. It's interesting. See if Quakecomm has a better time than his teammate did on this map. He attempted kind of an early Baneling pressure, but lost all of his lings to Banelings on accident. At the same time, he lost his Banelings, so pretty much everything exploded all at once. Just kind of upsetting for him. Quakecomm doing the extractor trick to overpull into C. Okay, sorry. I didn't see an Overlord in production, and I got really, really excited. Something cool was going to happen, but nope, that's not going to happen because this is ZVZ, kids. I hope this actually works now. Yes, it does. All right, cool. Team Liquid was being stupid earlier and said I was offline when I wasn't offline, and like auto turned my stream off for me. Very rude. Very, very rude. No, both players, yeah, just setting up. Hopefully hatch first. Oh, we're going to see hatch first. We're going to see a hatch first. Quakecomm, being ballsy. Going hatch first. Pool first for Kale here. So, if Kale scouts us out quickly and happens to go like pool gas before his hatch, he could get in with early speedlings to do a ton of damage. But that's also dependent on him actually doing it. And he's actually going to go gas after his pool. So, him being safe, building safe, is in turn going to let him be aggressive a little bit later on once he sees that this is happening. His Overlord is going to get in here and he's going to see how far along this hatchery is, and is probably going to know that this was hatched first, but spawning pool and gas already on the way for Quakecomm as well, and a hatchery on the way for Kale. So Kale's going to have a little bit earlier queen and ling possibilities, but his opponent's going to have the earlier economy up and the ability to go into 2 queens pretty quickly. So Kale's drone, Overlord gets in, sees the hatchery at the natural. He's going to start scooting out of there. Both players setting themselves up. Quakecomm already in his gas, so he's going to stay pretty safe here, regardless of the hatch first. Doesn't really matter. No big deal. Both players playing pretty well here. Kale actually only has 1 on gas before he even had speed. The amount of gas needed for speed ready. I'm not sure why, but oh well. Second queen on the way for Kale, setting his first queen down to the natural, and adding a second queen in his main base. So he's gonna have 2 queens at his bases, and speed on the way. 2 drones and gas now. So interesting gas choices here for for our Outset Zerg player, but both players' speed are almost identical. I think they are identical. Almost identical. One of them is like a millisecond faster. But so despite the later pool and later gas for Quakecomm, his speed is going to be finishing up at the same exact time. Queens and injects are a little bit quicker here for Kale, but not the biggest of deals. Daedalus now going down in the main base for Kale. 10 lings on the way though for Quakecomm. So he's got these 10 lings across the map, and speed's going to finish about the time they're over there. And if Quakecomm doesn't sniff this out and see that this is coming, he does have a couple lings on the way over, but all they're going to run into really probably are these first 2 lings. Actually, they're going to try to go to the mid base. They want to stay. Quakecomm looked like he wanted to hide those lings, but decided not to. He actually doesn't even care about those 2 lings. He's going to let them try to go to town, but there's a queen. Going to be able to take care of 1 ling. This ling is still in here and getting out, and both players just going heavy on lings. The difference is Kale has the option for Banelings. Quakecomm does not. And yeah, this is going to turn a ling versus ling battle here. And Banelings being morphed in, however, for Kale, which is in a much better position right now. And still just more and more lings being created. But now we have Banelings. Kale has Banelings, and he's going to start crashing in here. Lings are going to start going down, and now supply is going to be switching into the favor of Kale. He lost all of his Banelings, however. It's just kind of sad. Not a big deal, though. He's going to start remaking Banelings, making 2 more. He should probably start making some more. His opponent is making nothing but lings at the moment. No drones at all. 26 to 20 drones at the moment. Both players trying to make as many lings as they possibly can. Only a couple banelings available. And without a really, really nice amount of micro, this is going to be very difficult. One baneling goes down. Don't think it got really much on it. And yeah, this is still working out pretty well for Kale. So this early, super early aggression has not gone the way that Quakecomm had hoped, it seems. Roach Warren is already on the way. More banelings being morphed in. And still no gases taken, extra gases taken by either player. And Quakecomm is actually completely out of gas. He's just making more and more lings, trying to make just mass baneling work. But one baneling kills about 3 lings there. One more baneling going out in front of everything, trying to kill everything off, but all of the lings are in now. One baneling went down to 1 ling, which is a nice trade there for Quakecomm, but still. Now, Kale is in a really nice spot here. He's in a really nice spot on the top of his ramp with banelings. He's going to feel pretty safe here. More banelings crashing in. That's not the best of trades, but now he's taking a decisive advantage here. 20 lings to 10 lings. He even has a baneling left over. And he's going to start pushing his advantage on the other side of the map. He even has a roach on the way, catching some of these lings out in the middle of the map. And Quakecomm is trying to take a third base behind this, which is going to be very difficult to do. Once this baneling gets over here, this would be rough. Kale's going to probably just, well, he's going to attack this. I feel like he could have just run around with his lings for a little while, but he does have a higher ling count. Oh, no, not anymore. Brandon does dice shot there, but now there's no more lings now. Kale survives with 4 lings, and now they're dead. 4 lings for Quakecomm, 3 roaches, and yeah, still just a ton of more speedlings. And Kale actually he still needs to have some banelings. Against this many lings right now, 1 roach getting caught out in the middle of nowhere. And he doesn't really have that many roaches. He's only got these 3 down here. He has 4 total. And there's going to be a lot of lings. He's got 29 speedlings out, 6 more on the way. And speedlings alone can do a lot of damage. Again, roaches are pretty freaking slow. And these lings are going to get in here. And with a lot of lings, this looks like this is going to go pretty poorly here for Kale, despite having a higher tech unit. He's got no banelings to fend off all of these lings. And these lings are going to start killing everything. And Quakecomm has 3rd base. So, interesting decision making here for Quakecomm, but it's going to work out pretty well for him. His opponent has no ability to actually make anything that's going to fend this off. He just does not have a larva for it. He needs to morph in banelings whenever he gets lings out. And actually try to fight with his drones, which is not the situation he really wants to be in right now. All the queens, I believe, have died. No, there's 1 queen left. Still 1 queen left. A few roaches are left. Drones are going to need to start going to work again. And it's actually, drone count is just about even right now. But at the same time, that's a good amount of roaches now, finally. Finally, a good amount of roaches are out on the field. Got 7 out right now against 26 lings, but it is against 3 bases with 3 queens, actually all injecting. There's only the 1 queen, and worker count is completely even. And if Kale decides to try to run across the map and get damage done against his 3rd base, a bunch of speedlings are going to just run in and kill everything. So he's confined to his base right now. However, if Quakecomm keeps donating all of his lings, that's not going to be a problem, but he's smarter than that. He's going to go right to the main base and start taking out drones. So he knows that's what he can do. Kale just needs to make some banelings in his main base, in his natural, to keep himself safe, and then move across the map and start taking his opponent out. His opponent has nothing back home, but it's not going to be an issue. Quakecomm is just taking out every single drone here. 25 to 12 workers right now in favor of Quakecomm, and 3 bases versus 2. And still, just more and more speedlings moving across the map. 22 more in production to join the 10 that are already on the field. And yeah, this turned out pretty rough for Kale here. He's still in an okay position. He's got a good amount of roaches, but he can't really get any damage done. He needs to drone up, but he's not able to. And again, as soon as he moves out, Quakecomm sees this move out. He sees the roaches are out in the middle of the field. He can just run around them, no problem. If he wants to protect his base, he can. He doesn't really need to. He doesn't have a lair yet, which is kind of interesting. He's gotten gas. He hasn't gotten any more gas yet. He does have 360, so he can go to lair pretty easily once he decides to do that. But right now, he's just trying to drone up as much as possible. 25 to 19 workers right now, and both players are really just trying to get back into the droning situation. Oh, goodness. So, interesting starts here. That's just a ton of lings. That didn't look like that was going to work at all for Quakecomm, the way that began. Just a lot of lings against banelings, but Kale lost all of his banelings and never made any more, and just kind of got himself put in a really awful position by a huge counterswing. But worker count has evened up now, which is nice. Layers on the way for Kale. But then again, it is 3 bases against 2, and a ton of speedlings. a ton of speedlings. Kale can really probably spread out these roaches a little bit more, try to completely wall off this ramp with the roaches, and rather than letting them get in here. Quakecomm doesn't really want. I don't know if he really wants to attack. He doesn't really want to attack. He doesn't care to attack. He just wants to make sure the third base is never going to get up. That's exactly what he's doing. And he's getting a rush. Quakecomm is getting a rush warrant of his own. So he's waiting to be just fine for a little while. Both players are just still trying to make drones. Quakecomm is still on a very, very low drone count right now. He's only on 31 drones. His opponent is again out-droning him somehow. Despite losing the amount of workers he did and being behind by about 15 workers a little bit ago, he caught up and he passed them. Kale now has an 8-worker lead. He does only have 2 bases, but that doesn't matter if you have the same amount of workers, especially at this stage of the game. That is not a problem. He's okay with that. But 13 roaches now on the way to join all of these links that are already out, and without significant upgrade advantage or just numbers advantage, Kale is going to find himself in a bit of a pickle trying to deal with all of this. He does have Evo Chambers finished, so he can start getting upgrades, and he's going to try to take a third base, it seems. Yeah, he's going to try to make a third base, but it's going to be really, really difficult to actually do. And this huge swell of roaches and starting to move across the map. There are some banelings being made, which is nice to actually add into this composition. So he's able to actually push away these lings, especially if he gets a huge connection with some banelings. He's going to be in a really nice spot here. It's just a matter of getting the banelings in there. He needs to pull the roaches back, but he's not able to do that. And now that Quake's roaches are here, banelings not connecting the way they need to, and now it's just roaches versus roaches. 15, 17, 18 roaches versus 9, and Kale's going to call it GG there. Quakecomm going to put his team up. Nicely done there. 4-3. And now StraTk is 1 game away from securing this series. It's best of 9 series here. Be back in a moment. Going to get into set 8. This may decide it.